Hi, this is Ed Amoroso. Welcome back to Tag Talk. On this video, I want to talk to you about a topic that might be a little uncomfortable for those of you working in cybersecurity now. And I hope you stick with me because it's a message that I think you have to hear and that we need to, as an industry, learn to adjust to. And it comes down to cybersecurity budgets. I think we're at the point now where cybersecurity has reached maturity. We're no longer a growth industry. In fact, let me say that again, because I don't think you hear that enough. Cybersecurity right now is not a growth industry. We've reached the top of our S-curve. There is a lot of bullshit that comes from companies like Gartner, Forrester, and these analyst firms that want to perpetuate the myth that everybody has a growing budget. They don't. So look, let's start with B2B. If you're selling cybersecurity to businesses, or if you work in a business where you're ingesting vendor kind of capability, platforms, products, services, then that has leveled out. That's now a marketplace where what you were doing last year is a pretty good reflection of what you're going to be doing this year. It's just flat. And I wish I could tell you that, because of threat, because of regulatory pressure, because of the new risks from AI, that senior leaders are going to see the light and say, oh my goodness, no, we have to fund cybersecurity and give you a 10% increase to deal with these threats. That is not going to happen, and it is not happening. So if you're a venture capital team, doesn't mean that there's not opportunities. It just means that the world that we lived in the last 10 or 15 years is not the world we live in today. You can still fund amazing startups that are going to do great, but they don't have that moving sidewalk in cybersecurity that we had, say, between 2014 and 2022, 23. Now it's just not there. If you're a vendor, doesn't mean you shouldn't, go chase business and follow your dream to build a startup. You should do that. But again, know that there's no longer this big tailwind behind you where you can have a mediocre company get bought by somebody and then go buy your Ferrari. That's just not going to happen. It's not exactly a headwind, but there's no tailwind. And then certainly if you're an analyst company, please stop saying all this stuff. If you are, then that means you're not talking to practitioners. That's what we do. So I have a few recommendations for those of you who manage budgets. If you're a CISO or you're a budget manager, or you're just an executive or a practitioner working in enterprise. Number one, if you are looking to bring something into your program, a new vendor to do disinformation, misinformation, or deep fake, or AI guardrails, or some of the newer things, non-human identity that you feel like you need to do, if you're bringing something in, you're going to have to find something that goes out. It's like I used to do with the kids at my home. If you're going to bring toys into the basement, I want to see some toys going out of the basement. You like to keep things in some sort of balance. We've never had to do that before. We're just constantly bringing in new vendors, new platforms, new tools. Those days are over. So that's number one. Number two is that you need to work to rationalize and consolidate what you have. You need to find a way to deduplicate things like from vendors that are doing more or less the same thing. That's a new capability we have in our tag platform where you give us all of your vendors. We drop the Excel spreadsheet of your cybersecurity vendor into our platform, help you identify places where you have duplication, and you can rationalize, reduce the number of vendors, reduce the complexity of your architecture. So that's pretty important. And then number three, let's face it, automation leads to reduced costs for an organization. Some of those tier one tasks that are very rote and manual, those can be automated. Look, we've always been the teacher's pet, the security team in infrastructure and IT. Everybody has to go down. Everybody has to absorb budget cuts. The CIO, the IT operations teams, procurement and HR and legal, all going down. And security has always been that one that had the hallway pass to not see budget reductions. Those days are over. Do not listen to legacy analyst firms that are telling you something that's not true. We talk to buyers. We talk to enterprise at TAG. We know where budgets are headed. They're flat. In some cases, they're going down. And if they're going up, It's a little bit of money that's been earmarked for AI, but it's not going to be some crazy increment. It's probably going to be for a POC. So accept that now. We call it cyber budget fatigue. Maybe that's a new phrase that we can coin here. It's not something you should be depressed about. We've reached a level of maturity now. We're a recognized component of infrastructure, and we need to operate that way. We need to learn to manage to efficiencies, to operational resilience and efficiency, having costs go down and the level of service go up. Welcome to running infrastructure. Take it from me. I come from telecom. We learned that problem, or learned to deal with that problem many decades ago. So if you've not dealt with it, it's time to start learning. So listen, I hope you're not depressed by this. We've reached a level of maturity. It's time now to figure out how to rationalize our budgets and deal with flat year-over-year targets. So look, I hope you'll like this video. Make sure you subscribe. We love to see those subscriptions. It helps us know that you're there. And make sure you put some comments into our post on YouTube. So I hope this has been helpful. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.